the past couple of weeks, we took a deep dive into Billie's Bounce by Charlie Parker. We learned the chords and we learned the melody. The tune itself is based on a 12-bar blues in F. We looked at how to take a basic 12-bar blues and jazzify it with some extra changes. This week, we're going to look at how to improvise over those changes. At the start of this video, you heard me do a playthrough of my lead study. We took 2 passes around the 12-bar blues cycle, the first half being fairly simple, and the second half we added a few more advanced ideas. As always, if you'd like to get hold of the lesson materials, do check out the link in the description. I have a Patreon account where for a small amount of money per month, you get access to all of my lesson materials, and it's a really great way to support this channel and help me to continue making these videos. So let's dive in. For our first phrase, we're playing over the F chord that's in bar 1 of our 12-bar blues. Let's visualize an F major triad. Root, 3rd, 5th. We can add some flavor by chucking the 6 on, here or an octave lower. And with those ingredients only, we can play our first phrase. We're also doing this typical blues thing of going into the major third from the minor third, semitone below. Triads are massively useful in terms of plotting out target notes across your fretboard. I'd recommend going back and checking out my videos on triads. I'll link them in the description and I'll put clickable links here as well. For our second phrase, we're playing over a B flat 7 chord in the 2nd bar. And we play this. Now, one really good way of seeing this is to think of our F major triad that we had, with the 6s added. Take the 3rd and flatten it, making it an F minor 6. Now, in relation to the B flat 7, that flat 3 of the F minor is the flat 7. So this is a common trick in blues. You take your major triad, and then you make it minor for the 4 chord. You can get some great phrases out of that one simple idea. Just thinking F major on the 1, F minor on the 4, adding the 6, back to the 1 again. So this phrase then resolves to the root of our F chord. And there we have the first 3 bars done already. So here we go. We're coming in on the and of 4. We go 1, 2, 3, 4. Now in the next bar, we're going to outline the sound of our 2-5 that we put in bar number 4. C minor 7 to F7. We're going to come down a C minor 7 arpeggio. That then resolves down a semitone to the 3rd of the F7. We spoke about these semitone resolutions back in the Georgia on My Mind lead study video. Now we're on the F7, we're thinking, let's add some flavor. Let's add a flattened 9th. Pull off to the root. Then play the flat 7. So we're really breaking this down into 2 chords, C minor 7, F7 with a flat 9. Then we have to resolve to the B flat 7, so we grab another semitone resolution. The flat 7 of F7 resolved down a semitone to the 3rd of the B flat chord. So that gives us a 2, 5, 1. We're 2-5-1ing the 4 chord. We're using the 2-5-1 as our way to get to the 4 chord. So technically we could call this the 2 of 4, the 5 of 4, and then 4. So the phrase starts on beat 1 and it sounds like this. 3, 4. Now we're on the B flat 7, we're thinking 3rd, root, flat 7. And then again, thinking of nothing really but the B flat 7 arpeggio, we're going to play this Charlie Christian type of idea, which is a B flat 7 with the addition of the 6th or the 13th. Now we're going to resolve back to our F major triad, where we're going to also add that 6 again. So the phrase sounds like this: B flat 7, resolving to the F chord. Now we're faced with another 2-5, A minor 7 to D7. This is heading towards the G minor. So again, we're 2-5ing the following chord. So you could call this the 2 of 2, the 5 of 2, and the 2, because we are in the key of F still. We're going to choose to ignore the A minor 7 and play nothing on that, and focus all our attention on the D7, where we're going to repeat the same melodic idea that we had on the F7 earlier, the third, the flat 9, the root, and the flat 7. Except now we're in D, we're thinking here, third, flat 9, root, flat 7. Resolving to the minor third of your G minor. Again, just thinking of a G minor triad here really, and grabbing the flat 3 and the 5th. D7, G minor. Timing wise, that comes in on beat 3. So you go 1, 2. Now we're thinking G minor 7 to C7, another 2/5, where we get that semitone resolution again. G minor 7, we play the 5th and the flat 7. That flat 7 moves down a fret to the 3rd of the C7. Where just like we did on the F7 and the D7, we're going to bring in some extra flavor on the C7. You've got a C7 arpeggio, 3rd, 5th, flat 7 root, but then flat 9. Always easy to find your flat 9, a semitone above the root. And then we're going to play this sort of Django sounding thing. Sharp 9, back to flat 9, back to the root, back to the flat 7. Resolving back to F, where again we're visualizing nothing but the F major triad as a quick way of landing a target note. And then we're going to bring in the 6th again. This time we're finding it on the D string. So let's take it from the A minor 7, just so you can hear those 2 5s being daisy chained essentially. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's the first 12-bar section done. Now the second 12-bar section gets a little more involved. If you're enjoying this video and you'd like to support my channel and the work I'm doing, please do like, subscribe and comment. It makes a massive difference. I also now have a Patreon page if you'd like to check that out at the link in the description. Either way, your support is massively appreciated. Thank you so much. So we start to outline a few more changes. We start off with an F major. Now again, I'd really recommend visualizing your triads here as nice concrete landmarks to aim for, and also to know how the other notes relate to that shape. For example, an F major triad and the F major scale in that surrounding area or the F mixolydian scale in that area. And also the inversions of the F major triad that exist within that zone as well, across the other string sets. All over the fretboard. That's essential knowledge if you want to have a good thorough map of the fretboard. Okay, so back to this first phrase in the second half of our 12 bar. If we think about what's really happening here, we have F major to F7 to B flat 7. So we're already telling a bit of a story in that opening lick. We're implying F to F7 to B flat. Now we're going to imply B flat minor 6, the 4 minor, as a good way of getting back to the F. So the progression that we're outlining would sound something like this in chord form. And here it is as a phrase. 2, 3, 4. Now if we look a bit closer at the rest of the notes in that phrase, here's your B flat 7, and then B flat minor 6, 6th, 5th, flat 3, and then just a little passing note into the 5th of the F chord. We're back on our 1 here. And I chuck in one of these Charlie Parker-y kind of trills. And it sounds good even without. Okay, now the next phrase implies F7. Major third to the fifth to the flat 7. And that's because, again, we're heading towards a B flat chord, F7 being the 5 of B flat. So here's F7. And then we're going to play a nice little Charlie Parker-y altered 2-5 over the C minor 7 and the F7. We're going to play this group of notes over the C minor 7. If we think about how they relate to the chord, you've got the flat 3, the 5th, the flat 7, and the 9. As a standalone thing though, I'm visualizing an E flat major 7th arpeggio. This is a really common approach that a lot of players use as an easy way to access some of these upper extensions of a chord. We're thinking C minor 7, but we're going to play the major 7th arpeggio off of its flat 3. That gives us the 9 on top in relation to the C minor. And then we get to F7, where we're going to play an altered phrase. We've got a sharpened 5th, a 3rd, a sharpened 9th, a flat 9th, like earlier, a lot of flat 9 on the dominant chords, resolving to the 5th of the B flat 7 that has now landed. So we've just played 2-5-1 to B flat. And again, we can chuck in a little trill if we like. Now we're on the 4 chord, the B flat 7 again. We're going straight into the 9th and the root and back, and then the flat 7. I always find that the 9th is a beautiful note to target on your 4 chord. It's something that I picked up from listening to Lester Young. He does some beautiful phrases where he really goes in for that 9 on the 4 chord. Okay, so we have... And again, we're thinking 4 minor now. So B flat minor. Where we can chuck in another trill if we like. Okay, so a quick thing to point out here. A lot of the time when we're on the 4, our method of escape in order to get back to our 1 is to go 4 minor, which resolves beautifully back to the 1. Remember that last time we also looked at going 4 to sharp 4 diminished to the 1. Either way, you're getting a nice little run that sort of resolves you back to the 1. We've just chosen to go with the 4 minor on both these occasions. Okay, so now we're back to the 1, the F. At this point in a 12-bar blues, I really like the way players like Charlie Parker and Lester Young would outline a major 7th sound on this 1. So we're thinking F major 7. And just like we did on the C minor 7 a moment ago, we're going to try this trick of playing the arpeggio off the 3rd of the chord to reach some upper extensions. So we're thinking F major 7, the 3rd would be A minor 7, which if we relate these notes to the F major 7, this would be your 3rd, here's your 5th, here's your major 7, here's the 9th. We slide in from the 4th fret, just as a passing note, and we play this with a triplet rhythm. So that's 1 and a 2 and. We then take the very same approach to the F major 7 arpeggio, 3 and a 4 and. Nice little run. Now we're on the next 2-5, A minor 7 to D7. Here's your A minor 7, walking chromatically up to the 3rd of the D7. And then just like we've done previously, we're going to target the flat 9 on the D7. Resolving to the minor 3rd of the G minor. And again, we can chuck a little trill on there. So that would give us all of this if we take it from this triplet phrase. 3, 4. Now we're on G minor 7. We're going to use a little bit of a honeysuckle rose fragment. So this would be flat 3, 5, flat 7 and 9. It's giving us the sound of this G minor 9th chord. Then on the C7, we're going going to bring in a couple of alterations again. Flat 9 and sharp 5 amongst other things. We're going to play this run of notes. That would be the third of the F. That's the point of resolution. So let's analyse this. Sharp 5, third, sharp 9, flat 9, root, flat 7, fifth, sharp 5, third of F. Okay, so that whole run there from the G minor 7. Then on the F major chord, we're thinking F6 again. Really just visualizing this F major triad and bringing the 6th in as well on the G string. I'll take it through from where we had that triplet run in bar 19. 3, 4. So you can hopefully hear how that outlines all these changes. And that concludes our Jazz Blues in F lead study. I hope you've enjoyed this lesson. Please do comment down below with any thoughts, and I'll see you next week with a new piece.